Hello, good morning children. This is Sam Ramzan Bhai. Today I am going to teach you 8th class English Unit 2 B reading. Unit 2 B reading is a poem given that it is the cry of children from the social issues. Second reading is B reading is poem. That is the title given to you, the cry of children. This poem is written by Elizabeth Barrett Browning, women poet, female poet. She has written this poem. So children, as we have come to know, from the social issues, there are so many social problems or the issues, including that here we are going to know that about orphan children, those have no parents or homes. That is why they are crying a lot in this society. So this poem tells us the children those are crying, and that children, you see what they are doing, what is their job, why they are crying, we are going to know in this poem. So Elizabeth Barrett Browning has written this poem. All of you take the book, textbook, and see that poem as I am reading here. Are you ready? Say the children, we are weary and we cannot run or leap. If we cared for any meadows, it were merely to drop down in them and sleep. Our knees tremble sorely in the stooping. We fall upon the faces trying to go, and underneath our heavy eyelids drooping, the reddest flower would look as pale as snow. This is the first stanza, and let me come to the next stanza to read. For all day we drag our burden tiring through the cold, dark underground, or all day we drive the wheels are iron in the factories round and around. This is the daily work of the children, those are working in the factories. I think you understood some theme of this poem. Let me come back here. Say the children, we are weary and we cannot run or leap. Children, who do you think here? We means the children those are working in the factories. They are homeless children. They have no homes, houses. They become very tired. Weary means that is why we cannot run or leap, and they cannot run because of tiring, because of weary. They cannot run, they cannot jump. Jump means they cannot play. If we cared for any meadows, it were merely means only, MERELY, merely means only. If we cared for any meadows, whenever they get the leisure, they go to some nearby meadows. Meadows means the grass which is covered in green grass, the land which is covered with the grass. That is called meadows. So whenever they get the leisure, they go to nearby meadows there to drop down in them and sleep. Because of not having the homes, the children they go to the landscape or meadows to take the rest or to sleep. Our knees tremble sorely in the stooping. Our knees, their knees, completely they are sorely means in painful manner. That it is not only paining, in the stooping, whenever they bend their knees, stooping means bending up. So they get pain whenever they bend their knees. We fall upon our faces trying to go, and underneath our heavy eyelids drooping, and underneath below under the eyelids that drooping also its meaning here, bending like that, the reddest flower would look as pale as snow. So for these people, even the reddest, it is adjective form given to you, reddest. This is a comparative, in comparative degrees. You see that redder, reddest adjective is used, and 3 degrees of comparison, that is that eyelids completely that are what do you call that, drooping means hanging down. Eyelids were hanging down because of tiring, because of weary. They tired so much, and heavy eyelids, that eyelids become very heavy, burden like that it will come. That is why they become down. The reddest at that moment, even the reddest flower, that they would look as dull as snow. That means they cannot recognize the color of the flower. They cannot recognize some other colors also, because of their eyes become tired. This is the theme of this stanza. And you come to the second stanza. For all day we drag our burden tiring. They pull through that the burden of that heavy loads. They drag from burden tiring through the cold, dark underground. They pull that burden of loads of something there, that coal from the dark underground. They drag that loads, heavy loads. Due to this, what will happen? They become tired. That means here they do much work in the factories. All day we drive, the wheels are iron in the factories. Not only this, they also drive the wheels of that factory, or iron wheels, or iron, some other iron in the factories. They drive it there, and round they move the wheels and some other iron work. This is a heavy burden work they do in the factories. Due to this, the children, they become tired after the duty, after the job, evening or night. They do not have any homes. That is why they go to the nearby meadows, where the land is covered with the green grass. But for them, the reddest flower of the garden, they think that it is as pale as snow. That means their eyes that become very dull. They cannot recognize what is the color of the flowers, and due to tiredness, they do not know what is going on. They get sleep in the meadows only, so they have no homes. This is the cry of children. Elizabeth Barrett Browning, she has written this poem excellent in extraordinary way. So what do you understand by this reading poem, children? That means we can understand this, that places of children working, where they are working, and after the work, where do they go? These things we know that. And how does the work affect the children? You know that because of that work, it affects them a lot. And that questions you see, do children enjoy themselves when engaged in work? When they were working, do they enjoy? Once you try to give the answer. And not only this, one question asks, if the poem is written from the point of view of a factory owner, what kind of things would he say about children? In the mind of that owner, factory owner, if in the point of view of the factory owner, what would he write? You imagine. What is the poet's attitude towards child labor? And pick out the words, expressions that reveal our attitude. So here you can also get that attitude of child labor, and some words also you have to get them. And I have written few words. Children, you come to that weary, tired and lost all the strength. Meadows, land that is covered with grass, sorely in a painful manner, drooping, hanging downward, pale, not bright. This is the P reading poem. And children, you now come to that C lesson also. Within minutes, let us complete that C reading from the second unit of lesson. Are you ready? That it is C reading is reaching the unreached. This is a non-detailed lesson. This is reaching the unreached. This is also information about the orphans, homeless children, those have no particular homes and parents also. And about this information, it is given there in the C lesson. Shall we go to that C lesson? Right? Be ready. Reaching the unreached. See that. I'm going to read out that. Here some boy name is given there, Ramesh. That Ramesh, you see that. Not Ramesh, Ramesh. Ramesh was 14 years old. He left his widowed mother and 3 younger sisters back in Bihar. He took up a long travel of hundreds of miles to find a new future. He reached Hyderabad, one of the main cities in India. I think that you understood that boy reached for a long time taking the journey. He reached Hyderabad city, which is the biggest city, is one of the biggest cities in India. And on reaching the city, he found that the streets were not paved with gold, and finding a job was not an easy task. Cursed by hunger, he joined a group of rag pickers, and he started working early in the morning and toiled until late evening, only to earn a mere 10 rupees a day. Life was not a dream for him. This is the hard work time. He left his village, and he was Bihari actually, and cursed by hunger, that boy. But one statement is given there, that the streets were not paved with gold. That means no red carpet is there for him. No job is ready for him. He has to struggle for the job also, for existence also. So, last he joined the group of rag pickers, those collect the wastage things in the streets. He joined this group of people, and per day he gets 10 rupees only by collecting these wastages things. So that life was a dream for this little boy. Next you see, luckily he got a helping hand from the child line, and when some rescuer called 1098 helpline, Ramesh is now one of the beneficiaries of Andhra Pradesh state-based project for the elimination of child labor. So he got the help, and he, with the help of the child line, that he got some benefits also. That it is United Andhra Pradesh was there, the state government, and he was also taken from that rag pickers group. You see next, many such children fall to similar fate due to domestic violence and abject poverty. One such example was Shanti. Now we are coming to a girl that her name is Shanti. A 9-year-old kid. She was taken out of the school by her parents and sent to Hyderabad to work in a middle class home. And she suffered all day long, spreading her energy on cooking, mopping, cleaning and washing clothes. This is her duty. And worse was to come. The owners locked her up in a tiny room when they went out. She stayed alone, waiting for the day to pass. She recalled her memories with friends at school, and she wept. She began to cry. This is the thing here. So she recalls the memories when she was kept in the room and locked in the room. As a direct result of awareness campaigns, the neighbors informed the child labor enforcement team. She was rescued and is now placed in a girls' transit home. So she was rescued by the neighbors, and she was taken to girls' transit home also. Who knows how many such unreached are waiting to be rescued? Rescued means protected and saved. How many people are there? We do not know. Child rights and you, that it is in shortcut given to you, CRY. Child rights and you, CRY, that is in short, CRY. is an organization that believes that children are citizens and they have their own rights. At CRY, they do not believe in charity, nor do they run schools or orphanages. Instead, the partner some basic level organizations working for children, their patients, their parents, and communities also working. CRY's role is that of a bridge between child developmental organizations and people working for marginalized children. So the children, those are marginalized. This CRY is working. It is a social organization. It is like working as a bridge between the government sector and the people, those are working for the children. They gather the support, money and time of the Indians around the world and thousands of field workers across India who struggle to enrich the lives of children. So they collect this information, collect the money, and they have some time do this. They go across the world and they help these people. CRY has freed more than 1 lakh children from hunger, exploitation and illiteracy in more than 13,000 villages and slums also. CRY. And next, the organization has successfully prevented child labor in 648 villages across the nation and liberated 1152 villages from child marriages. It also has 21,676 out of school children in its account who have now joined schools. These children are into their childhood with all due opportunities of life. Thus, many children are rescued and they are saved, their lives, they are well settled now. So now, in the box given to you, Save Our Souls, that it is called SOS. Understand? You read this save, and next some information given this this in this paragraph. You can also read this. Due to this, you can understand what is the problem, what are the problems of the children. Okay, children. Now let me see you in the next video for the next.